Jazakallah khair. Dr. Yasien, thank you so much for your time on this topic of happiness. I'm going to kind of switch gears now
Okay.
and ask you a bunch of questions where you've only got a few seconds to answer.
Okay.
Are you ready? I know it's coming on to midnight in Cape Town, so I appreciate the level
Yeah.
of energy that you've already shown in this interview.
I'll just have a sip of water. Bismillah.
Sure.
Alhamdulillah. Okay.
All right, the first one is a very simple one. Your favorite reciter or qari of the Quran?
I love Qari, what's his name? Qari Abdul Samad. Abdul Basit. Abdul Basit. He came to Cape Town in the early days. I was very inspired by his reciting.
MashaAllah. I mean, there probably hasn't been a home that Muslim home that hasn't been
Yes.
touched by Sheikh Abdul Basit. We normally ask, what was the last book that you were reading? But I feel a more appropriate question to ask Dr. Yasien is, what was the last piece of writing that you were writing?
Oh, I see. The last piece of writing is what I wrote for Yaqeen Institute. It's called The Adab of the Student in the Quran. And
MashaAllah.
it touches on some of these things. The etiquette, what should be the etiquette of the student? You know, the respect for the teacher and so on.
A simple one. If you had the chance to have dinner with anyone from history, not the Prophet ﷺ, it has to be someone else, who would it be? And why?
I would love to have dinner with Salman al-Farsi, the Sahaba. And,
why him specifically?
Because I'm very curious to know his transformation, how he converted from Zoroastrianism to Christianity and from Christianity to Islam. And also his encounter with the Prophet ﷺ. I'm fascinated by that story.
Interesting. What is the best part of living in South Africa?
Yeah, I think the best thing of South Africa is the natural beauty that we have. The mountains, we have Table Mountain here. If you come down to Cape Town, we can have breakfast on Table Mountain. And we have beautiful seas, mountains, greenery, and we also have the meeting of the two oceans, the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. Cape Town Muslims would like to believe that is the Maraj al-Bahraini al-Taqiyan.
Mm-hmm.
That is the meeting of the two seas, where Musa alayhi salam wanted to meet Khidr alayhi salam, and that was the meeting point. So it could have been Cape Town here, Cape Point. If you come to Cape Town from high on the mountain, you actually can see the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean meeting but not mixing. That is the Maraj al-Bahraini al-Taqiya. Come see for yourself.
Okay, and if it wasn't Cape Town that you were living in and not South Africa, where would you live in the world?
That is quite a difficult question because the world is so full of turmoil, you know. But I think that I wouldn't mind Turkey. I love the people and I love the culture, you know, in Turkey, and I love the Turkish movies.
And one final question, Dr.
Pardon?
Yasien. One final question. What is the most important thing for parents like myself of young children to teach their children? What's the most important lesson that I need to give my children?
I think the most important thing as a father or as a mother, as a parent, is to show your love and compassion towards your children. Secondly, to apply discipline. Combine that love with discipline. The child must learn the meaning of no. Not everything is yes. Life is not just about yes. can also be no, because if you give into their whim, that can be very dangerous. They can become brats, and it will become problematic when they get married, because they want to exercise their whim and they don't consider the preferences of their spouse. It can be problematic in the workplace because they want to exercise their whim and they don't want to follow the rules of the workplace. So I think discipline is important as well as love.
Dr. Yasien Mohamed, thank you so much for joining us on Double Take. We really appreciate your time and your pearls of wisdom. I know it's coming on to midnight in South Africa, so we especially appreciate the amount of effort that you put into this interview. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair, and it was my great pleasure. Shukran. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.